Today, we've got a Week 13 matchup for you here between the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. A man who missed all of 2021, this is J.K. Dobbins. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. This defense for the Broncos, they were very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and try to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
They'll run. This is Gus Edwards. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on third down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Now Jackson taps this forward jet sweep. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage.
Vision and speed, 2 of the attributes that you might say are important for a free safety, and we saw both in evidence there.
Yeah, this was just really well done on third down because he doesn't have a lot of time to analyze things. He's got to make a snap decision and go. And his decision there, right on. He rocketed in and made the play.
And the next-gen stats tell the story as he was traveling at better than 19 miles an hour.
They'll score that a 36-yard punt. And the Broncos take over. First down and 10.
Well, 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos.
At their own 26. And some room to roam now. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 38 yards on the scamper there.
You know, I have a pretty good friend, Charles Davis, who tells me that when he sees plays like that, strong runs to the right, reminds him of the 1960s Green Bay Packers.
Boy, those were the days back when the fullback actually carried the ball as well as blocked. Then you had a halfback. You had pulling guards, guys who could get out and run. And you can hear the great coach saying it back then. So we get a seal here and a seal here, and we run this play right in the alley.
From the red zone now, here's Wilson on first down. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Brandon, watching their tape from last week, I saw plenty of plays like we just saw there, forcing incompletions. It was key in their win last week. They're hoping the same thing happens this time out, too.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Wilson.
This one swung out to Williams.
And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
On third down, here's Williams. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the first down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot. And now the Raven defense is going to call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Alberto hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos are on the board first on the road here in Baltimore. Extra point from McManus is good. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. The drive starts with a carry by Edwards. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Kareem Jackson. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
After the interception, here's Wilson. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. And, Charles, you think about what this defense has had to prepare for. They're in for a battle. I mean, they're facing a team that is working on a 6-game winning streak.
And that can be intimidating when you think about it in those terms. But I think what they need to do is make some sort of a statement early in this game, whether it's a turnover, a takeaway, a key sack on 3rd down, a 3 and out. Something lets the other guys know that you mean business. Figuratively, throw the first punch and make it a good one.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. They'll stay on the ground with Williams. And they'll get him down right about the 20. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Right side, it's Hamler pulling it in. And he's going to be taken down short of the first, right around the 15-yard line. 4th down, Wilson trots off, and on comes Brandon McManus for the Denver field goal. That's just 32 yards officially from the right hash. The kick by McManus is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. A good gain on first. Has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll go with a touch pass here, trying to pick it up. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. 10-0 the score after one on EA Sports. Fourth down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Pulled in at the 24. It'll be a 48-yard punt. 5 there on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Our first update now comes from Atlanta. And it's the NFC champs, the Falcons, that have moved out to an early advantage. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. That's a jet sweep. Wilson with a little pop pass. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. Here's Wilson to throw. On the slant, completes to Sutton. And almost, but not quite. Needed 10, he got 9. 4th down. So on 4th down, the Broncos send Corliss Waitman out to punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. And trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. They'll drop to throw. And that will be incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
That's taken it around the 40. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. Push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
2nd and 5 now. Wilson. This incomplete to Jerry Jeudy. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. They go play action with Wilson. Caught on the slant. Nice gain of 8 that time, and it's 2nd and goal.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
That is caught by Williams for a Denver touchdown. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. McManus's point after is good. And that makes our score 17-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This taken in at the goal line. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting it once, you get first-half scores just like this one.
And looking for Andrews, but this is intercepted. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. Well, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball because right now the way they're...
And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Another try after the first down sack. Wilson. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
Out of the pistol, here's Williams. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. They'll be back at the 36. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The kick by McManus is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they have the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, okay.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now flags come in. I think one of the Ravens got going a little early. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. Throwing is Jackson. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Jackson. He completes it to Beckham. Past the 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And a heck of a return as he goes out of bounds across the 50 inside the 45.
Now that's the kind of return that warms the heart of a special teams coach. He'll be pushing us next time, Brandon, to make sure his guys are introduced in the starting lineups. These guys have such an influence on every game. The unsung heroes, remember, they have their own meetings, their own practice time, heck, their own spot on the bench in order to be ready to play each and every week.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Now it's Wilson. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Marcus Williams. And the Ravens are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. The Baltimore offense at the line set to get going. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guy.
Oh, for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. A nice little juke. Well, Charles, you're so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
This will be caught. Judy. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
This is certainly a team that has proven it likes to target its backs through the air and defensively. They were aware of that and certainly were prepared on that throw.
So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. The kick by McManus is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we come upon halftime with the visiting Broncos taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, and we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. Here comes the return from the very back of the end zone. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Now Wilson on 1st down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Wilson's throw caught here by Dulcich. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. Play action. Now Wilson. Forced out to his left. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
Pardon, I think he's got to be careful as he continues to try to extend plays because he's already been intercepted in this game. And the coverage, they continue to challenge all of his receivers downfield.
This goes to the tight end, Eric Saubert. And they work this well upfield across the 45. First target, first catch, and a first down.
For a tight end, he's got good straight line speed, and on that route, he's often the guy that gets overlooked. Nice job there finding him in stride for really good yardage.
To throw again is Wilson. That's complete. It's Okuwebunam. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag. The false start hurts him there a bit. Backs him up to 2nd and 9. Here's Wilson. Finding Williams on the check down. And he'll be brought down right on the 50. A gain of 3. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive. It just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, we talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. The ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. Thankfully for the offense, a fortuitous bounce there on the fumble goes out of bounds because they're down here in the red zone. You don't want to lose one there.
You don't want to lose one, and the best part, because it went out of bounds, they retain.
He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. Dafe Owe in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Throwing is Wilson. Open man, he completes it to Judy. And he'll only get this to the 14 as he'll come up a little short of the first down. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And it'll be 4th down. Now Brandon McManus for the Bronco field goal. From the right hash, this a 31-yard attempt. The kick by McManus is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They'll run with Edwards here to begin the drive. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
Now Jackson taps this forward jet sweep. A solid stiff arm. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. A gain there of 21 yards. Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Now Jackson taps this forward jet sweep. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Jackson taps this forward jet sweep. And Robinson will not get there. Great defense at the point of attack. Going to stop him short of the first.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
They'll run for it. It's Edwards. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Again, it's Edwards. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Now Jackson taps this forward jet sweep. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Ravens on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. They'll try and run for the first with Edwards. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. And it's going to be batted down. It will go the other way with the football. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And the Broncos will take over on downs. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
So, in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. 60 yards on the ground for him so far. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off the game.
Williams is not going to get in here as they push him back to the 2-yard line. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. Williams again. And good work there defensively as they're able to keep him out of the end zone. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Yeah, Williams is going to be stopped short of the yellow line. He did not get there. 4th down, Wilson trots off, and on comes Brandon McManus for the Denver field goal. The kick by McManus is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, You never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clipped him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Meanwhile, Jackson's throw is on target to Likely. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Now they go for it on fourth, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time, doesn't work out. And the Broncos are going to get the football back in great field position. They go play action now. Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. Oh, Wilson going to throw. On the slant, completes to Sutton. And he'll be brought down at the 27.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. Well, fourth quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Yeah, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
9 yards, and that leaves them just short, so it'll be third and less than a yard.
14, got it.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Bronco touchdown. Javonte Williams, his 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Broncos add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Extra point from McManus is good, and that'll push the lead up to 29 now. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once we were down huge, and someone said, Coach, what do you want to call? He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. One last shot for Jackson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. So this one will wind up a Denver victory. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Denver, they continue to be one of the best teams around as they move to 10-2. And they'll return home next week to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, for Baltimore...